Chapter 3, Managing the Environment and the Organization's Culture. Thinking out of the box is an example of futuristic thinking. The learning objectives for this chapter are: contrast the actions of managers, describe the constraints and challenges facing managers in today's external environment, develop your skill at scanning the environment so you can anticipate and interpret changes taking place, just discuss the characteristics and importance of organizational culture, know how to read and assess an organizational culture, describe current issues in organizational culture. First of all, what type of cultures do you enjoy working in? The term external environment refers to factors and forces outside the organization that affects its performance. The political and legal components have tremendous impacts on our industry. For example, how has universal health care affect our industry? How has government regulations affect the liquor industry? We have discussed before about how the different generations of culture affect an organization. What are some of the opportunities and challenges when managing the baby boomers, Gen Y, and Gen X? Things like unemployment, gas prices, and other economic factors will have significant impact on the hospitality industry. Today, when you look at a social cultural issue, we must think how culture changes affect our businesses. For example, there's a national debate on religious freedom, but at the same time, many will argue that this leads to discrimination. Over time, a culture will change to reflect the majority view of these social issues. Many times, businesses use their economic clout to drive these social issues. Technology changes are moving faster than the speed of light. Can you think of possible technological changes that will occur over the next 2 to 3 years? The internet and rising economies have pushed globalization. Today, companies expand across continents and global information is at your fingertips. In today's world, we're living in a very complex environment and the degrees of change tend to be very dynamic. To remain competitive, we must predict and react to potential and actual changes. No longer can businesses use the wait and see attitude to determine if the trends will remain long-lasting. For example, the Heavenly Bed changed the way the entire lodging industry think about the hotel room, and the concept of lifestyle design caused hotel designers to rethink how to lay out the public and private areas of a hotel. What used to take a decade to implement is now being done within a 12 or 24-month time period for an entire industry. Can you think how social and political action groups affect the lodging and restaurant industry? Can you think how investors have changed how we manage hospitality organizations? Can you think of some of the interest that government has on the hospitality industry? Dimensions of organizational culture include attention to detail, outcome orientation, people orientation, team orientation, aggressiveness, stability, and innovation and risk-taking. Instead of focusing on all of these dimensions, we'll focus on a few of these. A company culture is typically either process or outcome oriented. In other words, is it more important on how you do things or what do you achieve? Many companies are either team or individual oriented. In other words, some companies focus on individual performance while others focus on team performance. Some companies focus on aggressiveness while others focus on stability and traditions. You need to decide which type of company you would prefer to work for. What type of organizational culture would you like to be part of? Think about the different organizational cultural dimensions when answering this question. Developing a strong culture is critical for the success of any organization. A strong culture should include a company sharing their values, Culture conveys consistent messaging. Most employees can tell stories about the company history or heroes. Employees strongly identify with the culture, and there's a strong connection between shared values and behavior. Let's take a look at a few examples of strong cultures. Maintaining culture first starts with the philosophy of the organization's founder. What does he or she believe in, and do they communicate it widely? The next most critical aspect is hiring the right people to fit within the culture. Some people will fit into a culture and some people will not. The management must continually need to reinforce a culture by creating a system of socialization within the culture. If all of these things are present, then you will have a strong company culture. As shown in Exhibit 3.9, a manager's decisions are influenced by the culture in which he or she operates. An organization culture, especially a strong one, influences and constrains the way managers plan, organize, lead, and control. Do you agree that culture affects the planning, organization, leading, and controlling abilities of a manager? Why or why not? And can you provide examples for each of these? In your current or previous jobs, what type of responsive culture did the company have in terms of your employees, job environment, empowerment, role clarity, or a consistency to want and satisfy and delight their customers? Let's go offline and now do the in-class assignment. For those of you who would like to do the optional homework assignment, here are 4 parts to that assignment.